Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to be discussing college students and mental health. It is Cruz Luna, your peer leader. My email is right there if you have any questions regarding academic tips or the college class overall. If it is difficult to understand what I'm saying or can't really understand what I'm saying, it's because my throat has been bothering me. I've been a little bit under the weather, so please don't let it be too much of a distractor, but it's my throat. All right, let's get right to the presentation. Mental health. Well, why is it so important? Well, right off the bat, let's just talk about the main theme, mental health. Why it's so prevalent today is because just went through a pandemic, and we're still going through a pandemic, and that's affected a lot of people's mental health, and especially college students. And I think this is why it's really important to discuss it. And furthermore, the book is a great resource to understand the psychological wellness. And it describes how personal wellness is composed of the twin towers. The twin towers are your mental wellness and your physical wellness. And you can't neglect either one of those because if you want to thrive and be a healthy human, you need to be able to be healthy in both of those aspects. And then the second point is academic achievement. This is actually really important. And I really like how the book puts it. Academic achievement in college and the ability to persist to college completion depends on the student's ability to maintain their mental health and cope effectively with psychological stressors. I bet a lot of you guys can relate with this because I have definitely done a lot of hard assignments or done bad on an assignment before, and the way you respond to that, you could either be very down and just let that affect the results of maybe future assignments or different things, and that'll carry on and be very negative to your grade. But if you respond, maybe respond more of a not necessarily a positive, but a more effective behavior, then you'll be able to overcome that challenge and be overcome that stressor. And it's really important as a college student and just in general in life because if you let everything bother you, it'll be a very difficult life. You need to be able to respond and adapt, and that's the key, the prevalent theme. So, also, we'll describe a little bit of the prevalence of mental health and mental health challenges. According to the Clay Center for Young Healthy Minds, 73% of students experience some sort of mental health crisis during college. A third of college students report feeling depressed. I have another statistic right here. Mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and substance use are associated with lower GPA and higher probability of dropping out of college. This means that you really need to hone in your mental health in order to have the academic achievement and to be able to graduate college. So let's continue on. Mental health and self esteem. The book comes together because self-esteem refers to your self-worth. It's a value judgment about ourselves that affects how we feel about ourselves. So if you have a high self-esteem, that'll positively affect your mental health. But if you have a negative self-esteem, it will negatively affect, it'll bring you down. It'll create more stressors and um, it'll amplify your stressors and increase your stress and decrease your productivity and decrease your physical health as well. But let's get this right off the bat. We don't always feel good about ourselves. It is normal to not always feel good about ourselves, and it's we have to adapt. And we have to look at our reflect. Like, okay, this is what's happening, and how can I improve my situation? Don't have self pity, and don't wallow in your stress or your anxiety, but try to get out of it and improve your situation. So let's look at some signs of low self esteem. You look in the mirror, you lack self trust. Trust me. Or if you're constantly saying, "Okay, I can do it," but if you're kind of like you don't really believe yourself, that's a sign of low self esteem. Comparing yourself to others, I think this one affects me the most, but especially if you're in different groups with your peers and maybe someone's doing better than you, and then you start comparing yourself. Wow, why can I be like that? Why haven't I done this so far? Why am I so behind? And then you really just decrease your self esteem and your mental health. It just really decreases. I think just don't compare yourself and just be look at your achievements. That's really important. You engage in people pleasing behavior. Is there anything else you need? This is sometimes where you try to compensate for your low self esteem by trying to over please other people. This other one says you feel little control over yourself. And then the next last one says you don't reinforce boundaries. How to improve slash restore self esteem. The book goes over a couple, and it says be mindful of negative self talk. This is really important because if you start getting in a constant pattern of bringing yourself down, obviously your stressors are going to be amplified, and your mental health is going to decrease. So instead, reversely, positive positive affirmations are the solution. And the book even describes how writing down as many different positive things that they can think about themselves in a minute, that's one strategy to get rid of that negative self-talk. It's like you're drowning that negative self-talk with positive affirmations. And that's why a lot of people also describe how gratitude is very important in a daily routine. Okay, second, the one that I already talked about before, but I think it's really important to repeat is avoid comparing yourself to others. I think this is really common as college students because we're all peers, and in a way, a lot of us are competing with each other. And so it's easy to be caught up with looking at each other and comparing yourself with others and seeing where your downfalls are, and you're forgetting about your achievements and all the things you've done to get you in the position you're at. Third, view mistakes as learning experiences. Maybe you do bad on an assignment, but okay, at least I completed it. I'm working hard, and I'm gonna do better on the next one. I'm gonna keep working hard. I'm gonna talk to my professor. It's just how you adapt. View mistakes as learning experiences. Don't just let them be negatives. Take something away from it. Fourth, step back and reflect on your achievements. This one's really important because all of us are in college. It took a lot for us to get here. Appreciate that, and also pat yourself on the back that you got here. A lot of hard nights of homework, a lot of studying, and maybe some of us didn't have the best situations to getting here, but we did anyways. We battled through the adversity, and now we're in college and we're succeeding, or we're doing our best, and that's really a great achievement. You need to sometimes step back and reflect on that. Lastly, talk to your family and friends. This is really important because you have a peer group, but you also have your family and friends. And these people will be your network, and they'll also be your threads to help you hone in any negative feelings. They'll say, "Don't move that negative energy out. Let me talk to you, and you just feel better about yourself." Personal tips. I extensively talk about exercise because it also talks about it in the book. But exercise to be seems to me to be the best that I've experienced. It's kind of exercise and time management because time management and exercise go hand in hand. Because if you have a busy schedule, you won't be able to exercise. But if you manage your time properly, you'll be able to exercise, and then you're most likely be able to manage your time for your other um, priorities. So, exercise, why is it important? Elevates your mood, improves self esteem, and it gives you that mental break. You get that 1 hour, an hour 15 at the gym, and you're separating from your work, and I think that's really important. It improves your quality of sleep. This is really important because if you talk about being an optimal and productive student, in order to do that and not abuse caffeine, you need to have a good sleep routine, and also have that good quality sleep. It's very important. Lastly, it improves your mental energy and improves mental performance. This goes right in hand with the improves the quality of sleep. If you exercise, you have more mental energy, you feel refreshed, and it's just try it out, throw it in your schedule, and just start experimenting with it. It also gives you another goal to work towards. I think that's positive in your goal setting mind frame. Next one, journal. Journaling is important because it lets you reflect on what you've accomplished. It can be a cathartic experience. Do a fun activity. If you're just having a bad day, you just feel down on yourself, do something you know that you'll enjoy. That's something that will boost your mood. Maybe means going to Yogurtland and enjoying a really nice cup of yogurt. Or maybe this means going to movies with your friends or family. Last, self reflect. Are you burnt out? Start thinking about what are the things that are bringing me down, and try to minimize them, and try to figure out how you can adapt. Like I said that a million times. Okay, let's quickly talk about some resources at UNLV for free. And specifically because we're talking about mental health, let's talk about CAPS. CAPS is the Student Counseling and Psychological Services, and it is completely free as a UNLV student because you pay for through your tuition. So use it. And some of the things that CAPS offers are workshops, educational seminars, um, online or application based self guided resources. For instance, if you have something quickly you need to like learn more about, they probably provide something about it. um, Group therapy. So say you're not too comfortable with just having a one-on-one, maybe you need a group. There's group therapy. I've heard positive things about that actually. Um, they have individual therapy. If you're having troubles with the partner, there's couples therapy, and also there's community referrals and case management. And CAPS is really a great resource at UNLV, and I can't stress that enough. It's just really good. And the website is unlv.edu/caps/services. I'd really check it out if you're struggling with mental health, or maybe if you're not, maybe just check it out, see what it's like, and don't be ashamed. It's a great resource. In conclusion, let me just wrap it up. Basically, we talked about mental health as a college student, and we talked about self esteem, how self esteem plays a big role in your mental health. Because if you have a positive self esteem, that brings you up. That makes you feel good about yourself. That improves your mental health. But if you have a negative self esteem, if you're judging yourself very negatively, that'll bring you down, and that'll detract from your mental health. So overall, some tips that we pulled away from the presentation is be mindful of this negative self talk. Don't compare yourself to others. Exercise, um, journal, and then reflect on the achievements you've done so far. I apologize for my throat and not being able to talk as well. I'm under the weather, but I hope this presentation helped you a little bit. And have a great day.